And sometimes people are going to be in our life to give us continuous lessons. But
only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year.
hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miss Mookie if you're new here. On my channel, I do like to talk about all things that involve self-growth, self-love, and helping people to actually better themselves. So if you stumbled across my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So today's video, we are going to talk about when it's time to leave a relationship. I think this video is very important because in my past, I struggled to know when to leave relationships and leave people where they're being weird at. So this is mostly going to be for romantic interests or romantic relationships, but I think this is a very important topic to touch on because as women, we are taught to see things through and just put up with BS. Even in like movies that I watch, I notice that women are just like putting up with whatever and just like being in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship. So I'm here to share my take on things so that we can continue elevating and help one another just grow and raise our standards and just live the life of our dreams, because at the end of the day, we all deserve to live the life that we want for ourselves, and being stuck to a no-good man is just not the way to do it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay, so topic number one, find value in your relationship. So if you're not able to find value in your relationship, that's sign number one that it's probably time to end things. Now, I know that you have to weigh in the factors of being in a relationship for a long time, you have a lot of love for this person, you don't know what's gonna happen, you depend on this person, whatever it is. I understand. I completely understand. It's not just one thing that ends a relationship. There are other factors that involve leaving a relationship, so I completely understand that. But if you're watching this video today, you're 9 times out of 10, you're contemplating ending your relationship. So we're just going to talk about some things to help you see clearly if your relationship is worth leaving or not. And honestly, I really hate that we have normalized in our society, I don't know when or where we normalized this, but we have normalized relationships being hard. And before I get into the rest of this, I really recommend you guys read All About Love by Bell Hooks. That book is amazing. Like, I read it 3 times already, and it's really just the idea of love, or what love is, conceptualized. And I really think that helps you just see things clearly, because we can take things that we see in videos and in movies and social media, we can just take everything in that we're consuming and create the idea of love. And a lot of people have not even seen like healthy love at home. Yeah, we have normalized that being in a relationship is hard work, and we have to put up with a lot. And I want to just say that a relationship is about 2 flawed people coming together and choosing each other time in and time out and trying to figure things out as they go along. So I'm not going to say there's not going to be some bumps in the road, but for me, cheating is a non-negotiable. You shouldn't be putting up with cheating. You shouldn't allow somebody to cheat on you. That's outright disrespect. And if somebody is disrespecting you, they quite honestly do not value the relationship, especially if that disrespect has been talked about and they continue just acting whatever and however. They're disrespecting you, and they're choosing to disrespect you. Because we're not going to know everybody's boundaries right off rip. That's just not the case. But relationships shouldn't be hard to the point where you're feeling super stressed and just feeling like that person is like we shouldn't have to, like, as women, what am I trying to say? As women, we shouldn't feel stressed every day. We should be able to relax in our feminine energy. We should be able to feel comfortable. And I'm saying all of this to say that a healthy relationship is possible. So if you do not have a healthy relationship, you need to end it. I don't care what else is going on. If it's not healthy, there's no point of being in it. But this is your life, and it's up to you to determine what you were willing and willing not to, or not willing to tolerate from somebody else. Now, if you do not find value in the relationship that you have in mind, then it's time to let it go. And honestly, the way I see relationships is, I see a relationship as, what is the saying? The person is either a lesson, a blessing, or... No, a person is either a lesson or a blessing. So if somebody comes into your life, they're there to teach you a lesson, but they can also be a blessing. And I love this because I really truly believe that everything and everyone we experience in life is there for our betterment. And it's up to us to see the lesson and the reason that this person came into our life. And sometimes people are going to be in our life to give us continuous lessons, but they can also be a huge blessing in our lives, and they can stay in our lives and continue to bless us time in and time out. So I really truly believe that each relationship is not by accident. We get into a relationship to better ourselves and to learn more about ourselves, and to learn from our mistakes as well. Just to help us become better people. And this is why you see so many people after a breakup glow up, because they have learned something about themselves. Usually it's their shadow self that they're learning about. They're learning like something new about themselves, and so they're able to glow up and level up. So whenever I am facing a breakup, I tell myself, I'm about to have the best glow up ever. I'm about to have the best glow up yet to come. Like, I get excited. That part excites me. Yes, ending something with someone that you valued or cared about or even loved is going to be hard. That part is going to be hard. I don't care how excited you get about leveling up. But just think about how much you're about to level up. Like, that blessing, like, yes, this lesson is over. Time to move on to the next. But at the same time, I'm about to level up. I'm about to glow up. Like, yes, I really do think that we have these experiences for a reason, and each relationship teaches us something new. And once we learn something new, we get that glow up. We get that update. We level up. Like, yes. But yes, it's very important to recognize when something is no longer serving you and just wasting your time and your energy. Another sign that it's time to let somebody go is the communication is not there. Everybody has different communication styles, so that is to be expected. But it's very important for two people to come together, these two flawed individuals come together and find a middle ground for your communication style. So that way you guys can communicate effectively. If you guys are not able to do this, the communication can be all wonky in the relationship. Things can be misconstrued, misinterpreted, and just misunderstood. And so you want to find that middle ground for your communication style, so that way you guys can remain on the same page. And also, just having effective communication skills can solve so many unnecessary problems. So many. So outside of the relationship, when you have free time on your own, work on your communication skills. Work on yourself. Like, it's very important to pour into yourself, whether you're in a relationship or not. Because I see people doing all this self-work, going out on solo dates, and then once they get in a relationship, all of that stops. It's like, girl, what are you doing? What was all that for? No, you continue to work on yourself. You continue to pour into your own cup. Because once you stop, once you're not able to pour into yourself, you're expecting somebody else to do that for you. And it's not a healthy way of being in a relationship, because then you become codependent on that person. You need this and that. You're not able to take care of yourself like you used to. People start to let themselves go at this point. It's not healthy to stop pouring into yourself as soon as you get into a relationship. And honestly, my two things that I really need in a relationship is honesty and communication. If we don't have both of those things, the relationship is doomed to fail. In my eyes, if I don't have honesty and clear communication, it's not worth being in a relationship with me, for me, at that point. Because a lot of issues arise from a lack of communication. So many issues can rise from that. But also a lot of issues and problems can be diminished if you have good communication skills and if you're able to communicate. And also, you want to make sure that your person is somebody that you can communicate with. That's why I talk about that middle ground of communication styles. But a lot of people will sit here and have arguments for the sake of having arguments. And this is why I'm so against arguing. I don't know if you guys know this about me or not, but I refuse to have an argument, a heated argument where I'm yelling at somebody and somebody's yelling at me. That makes me feel stressed and anxious, and that's just not something I choose to partake in anymore at my big girl age. Like, I literally do not yell at people. I do not tolerate people yelling at me. So a good suggestion that I have, if you're the same way, is just communicate with your partner that that's not something you like, and then also just let them know, because this is what I like to do. You go work out for 20 minutes, whether it's at the gym, do at home, go for a run, separate for 20 minutes, blow off some steam, whatever you have to do. I like to work out, but blow off some steam and then come back. So that way it's not as heated, it's simmered down, and you guys have blown off some steam some way, somehow. So that way you're not going at each other's necks. But a lot of people, I notice that when they're arguing, they're not talking to solve the issue or to listen to their partner's concerns. They are arguing to argue and to just talk and have their point heard, but they're not able to reciprocate that. And that's why I'm so against arguing, because it can be very ineffective. It's a very ineffective way of communicating. It's not my preferred way of communicating at all, but I'm very against arguing because a lot of the time someone is not listening in that argument. They are just arguing and talking. And it's very important. If you have a partner that is consistently arguing with you, or if you're this way, if you're arguing and you're not hearing the other person, there's no point of even talking. And also, one question that you do need to ask, are you able to communicate your needs to your partner? This is very important. Communication is so big in a relationship, and if you're not able to communicate a simple thing as, if you're not able to communicate your needs, we have a problem. Now, I don't know if they're not making you feel safe, or if you just don't know how to communicate your needs. That's a problem. That's a relationship red flag. Like, that's a problem. Sometimes not even communication can bring people on the same page, and that is honestly sad, but that may be a sign for you all to call it quits, because if you're not able to communicate with each other after, you know, shifting your communication styles to find a middle ground or whatever the case may be, and you guys are still not able to communicate with each other or get on the same page, it may be time to call it quits, because you all just may be wasting each other's time, or you might just be in the relationship for the heck of being in a relationship. Now, I want to talk about the conditioned woman. Most women are conditioned to put men on a pedestal, put relationships and being in a relationship on a pedestal, have marriage as the end-all be-all goal, and conditioned to be ride or dies. So that means we're sitting here sticking out any and everything our man throws at us, and we're gonna sit here and be cool with it. We're gonna sit by his side just because we were conditioned to. A lot of women are conditioned to settle. Unfortunately, women get in relationships just for the heck of being in a relationship. And when you're settling for somebody that you don't even like, you have to ask yourself, is this even worth it? Is the relationship even worth it? But I feel like there's a lot that goes into settling for somebody, because and I feel like it all stems from the fear of loneliness. And loneliness is not as bad as people try to make it out to be. Loneliness is just going away from yourself. You're not in tune with yourself, because the one person that you need is you. And as long as you got you, you're not going to be lonely. But loneliness is not being there for yourself. Is being away from yourself. You're not in tune with yourself. That's the only way you're ever going to be lonely. It doesn't matter how many people you have in your life and how many people you don't. If you're not in tune with yourself, you're going to be lonely. It happens. People get lonely in relationships. That's why a lot of people cheat in their relationships. I mean, there are definitely numerous amount of reasons for people to cheat, but that is a reason people cheat. It's because they're not happy in their relationship and they're lonely. But you're only lonely if you are not in tune with yourself and you don't have a relationship with yourself, or a good relationship with yourself. I want you guys to think of like settling as playing poker. If you guys do play poker, if you don't, for those of you who don't know, the best players always fold early on so they can get to the best hand as quickly as possible. I don't play poker, so I had to just read that off for you guys. But I found this and I thought this was the perfect example to share. So you fold early because you don't want to lose your money. So consider this in dating. So if you feel like you're stuck in a relationship, get out of there. Because otherwise, think of it as poker. You have to fold. If you don't fold and you just stick it out and you want to be this guy's ride or die, or I mean you're choosing to be this guy's ride or die, because if we're being honest, nobody wants to be somebody's ride or die, but you're choosing to be somebody's ride or die, you're going to be stuck, broke, and clueless. Don't do it. Another question you have to ask yourself is this guy there for you? Are you able to call your person in the event of an emergency? And are they there for you in the emergency? If they're not, it's probably time to let them go, because what purpose does this person serve if they're not able to be there in a relationship? I mean, in an emergency for you. If this person is committed to you and they're not able to be in a relationship, I mean, be there in an emergency when you actually really need them, what is the point? If you can't depend on your person, you probably gotta let them go. I'm sorry. I'm not saying be codependent. I'm saying you need to be able to depend on this person, whether you're dating or in a full-blown relationship. I've seen women test their men, like, oh, this has happened to me and I need help. And the guy will go and do and help in any way he can. I've had this happen to me too, now that I'm talking about it. But it wasn't in a testing way. I literally had an emergency. But if I cannot go to you, whether I'm dating you or in a full-blown relationship with you, if I'm not able to go to you in an emergency, there's no point of dating you. There's no point of being in a relationship with you. I'm gonna get somebody else to do it. If you're giving your time and your energy away to somebody, and trust me, that is invaluable. If you're giving your time and energy away to somebody else and they're not able to show up for you, especially when you need it the most, it's time to let them go, sis. If you're also ignoring red flags, we have to stop. My back is hurting. We have to stop ignoring red flags. I always say that the red flags that you ignore early on in the relationship come back to haunt you. I've experienced this in a relationship. The red flag that I ignored, and it was the biggest red flag for me, ended up ending our relationship. So I'm just going to share some red flags to look out for, ladies. Okay, so a man who ruins your mental health is not the love of your life. I'm going to say that again. A man who ruins your mental health is not the love of your life. A guy who cheats on you. Cheating is a non-negotiable. I put up with cheating. Honestly, it freaking sucks. And I put up with it multiple times with the same person. He was just cheating. I think he was like gay. Please don't come for me. I really think he was a closeted gay, because he was just continuously searching for somebody who could please him. When I feel like guys like that, they're closeted gay. They are never going to be satisfied with any type of woman. That's just my opinion. A man who lusts over other women. Lustful men are never satisfied. They are never satisfied. You don't want a lustful man. That is a red flag. Run. If he's lustful, run. Because he's never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be enough. He's going to let you know that you're not enough. And he's going to be like the cheater guy, continuously looking for something else. Looking for his next fix, his next high, whatever you want to call it. Because they are never satisfied. A man who lies to you. We all tell a white lie here and there. But somebody who has a problem with being honest is a scary person. But yeah, somebody who lies to you, they honestly don't respect you, and that's a red flag. Red flag. A man who doesn't like himself. A man who doesn't like himself, they tend to be insecure, and they will project their insecurity onto you and try to bring down your self-esteem so that they can feel better being with you, because they don't like themselves, so they don't understand how other people like them. You get what I'm saying? This is the biggest thing for me, because my body will tell me things before I actually like come to the conclusion myself. Physical signs that your body is rejecting him. I always look to see if my body is rejecting a guy, because they will know before I have decided that this guy is not for me. So I rely heavily on my body to tell me. I was in a relationship with a guy who cheated on me multiple times. Trigger warning, sorry guys, but I was getting BV, I was getting yeast infections, and I literally lost my sex drive. That was the scariest thing for me, because I had no idea what was going on with my body. I went to the doctor, I had blood work done, I had tests done. This was new to me, and the doctor I was seeing for all of this, she asked me one simple question, because obviously she's seen this before. I haven't. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I literally don't like having sex anymore. I was buying books. I was scared. She said, are you in a healthy relationship? No. Of course, I didn't tell her that, but I was like, nah. It just all clicked for me, because I lack self-awareness, then I'm not gonna lie, but it all just clicked for me when she said that, and I was like, okay, that's why I don't want to have sex, because it's not healthy. Your body knows these things before you can even acknowledge it. So yeah, I'm just gonna share some signs that your body's rejecting him based on what I've experienced and also what I have researched. So our bodies will know. I already said this. So number one, your body is retaining more water and swelling more than usual. So you see the cortisol phase. Your stress levels are up because this guy is literally stressing you the F out. So yeah, you're going to be retaining more water weight and just swelling more than usual. And I wish I actually am going to show you guys the picture. Please insert this picture. But my face was literally like, and I was skinnier than I am now, and my face was just and I was in a relationship with him at this time. Crazy. Your self-esteem is getting worse. If you're in a relationship with a guy who, and you find your self-esteem is not where it used to be, or your confidence is just shot, you're dealing with an insecure guy, I'm gonna tell you that much. But yeah, if your self-esteem is getting worse than what it was, it doesn't even have to be all the way up there, but if your self-esteem is just consistently lowering and getting lower, yeah, that's your body's way of telling you that this guy's not good for you. You feel anxious all the time. Now, I do personally know that anxiety can come from different sources, but specifically when you are dealing with romantic interest and you're feeling anxiousness, anxiousness is fear in your body. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this guy isn't good for you. Your body is still rejecting this guy, but out of fear. So anxiety doesn't necessarily mean that this guy is doing something wrong or anything. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that this guy is doing something wrong. It can just be your fear of whatever the case may be. Your fears are being shaken up. Your anxiety is kicking in. So if you're feeling anxious, you're literally fearing something. You're scared of something. And I do definitely recommend getting this shadow work journal. I just got it and I absolutely love it. So if you're dealing with anxiety, go ahead and do your shadow work. You honestly don't even need to buy this. You can Google shadow work prompts and just literally work on your shadow self so you can address your subconscious fears. And like I stated before, if you're having gynecological problems, I cannot talk today, so yeast infections, BV, UTIs, and pain, especially when having intercourse, yeah, your body's rejecting him, sis, and he's most likely sleeping with other people. I'm not a doctor, but he's most likely sleeping with other people if he's bringing these to you, because what I've learned is that the genitals can hold on to bacteria even after it's washed. So yeah, he's sleeping with somebody who naturally has bacterial and yeast in her vagina, and just like you have natural bacteria and yeast in your vagina, and then take it from one person, give it to the next, it causes an imbalance and creates the infection. So yeah, there you go. That's what's happening. And then also, if you're feeling nervousness or sadness a lot of the time, your body's rejecting them. Sorry. I'm gonna go over, because that's what this video was supposed to be about, is when to leave. If you made a pros and cons list. Why are you making the pros and cons list, sis? Why are you doing it? Because you already know. You already know. It's time to leave. If you already made that list, it's time to leave. I don't care how many pros and cons are on that list. It's time to go. There's no point in making that list if you gotta write it down. No. Go. Get your butt up and go. Okay? No pros and cons list. I don't know who taught us that. Go. No. If you're not able to express your feelings to your partner should create a safe space for you to express your feelings. So if they're getting agitated, annoyed, mad at you for expressing how you feel about something, now I'm not talking about nagging, because that's annoying. I would be getting annoyed at you. But if you're expressing yourself and they're like literally getting upset with you for doing that, it's time to go. They should be able to create a safe space for you to express how you feel about things. If you're constantly repeating yourself about the same issues, especially if they're big issues, your partner's not listening to you, they're not committed to listening to you. It is what it is, honestly, but they just don't care enough to listen. Because if you're constantly having to talk about the same issues over and over and over again, you're gonna cause yourself to be more stressed. But also, it's just like, you're gonna feel like they're a parent, because why do I have to keep saying the same thing over and over again? It should be one time deal if you really care, honestly. Because how many times do you have to be told about an issue? Somebody tells me about an issue, I'm like, okay, on it. My intentions were not bad, so I'm gonna fix this right away. So yeah, just think about it. Like, put yourself in their shoes. Would I do this if I was them? Or if I was in the situation, would I do this? No. No. If you're making excuses for him, you gotta go. He's gotta go. Get rid of him, sis. Like, there's no point of lying about what he's doing. Because if you gotta lie about it, that means you know he's not supposed to be doing it. Another sign that you need to leave is if they cannot resolve conflict calmly. This might not be for everybody, but the way I see it is, especially if this is early on, if they're not having temper bombs where they're just like exploding over minor little things, it's like, you can't handle conflict. You can't control your emotions. You don't know how to handle big emotions for small things. You don't know how to handle big emotions, period. And it's just going to get worse as time goes on. And then you have to look at it as, even if it's somebody like, you just have to look at it like, you don't want to be treated that way. Because if you're able to handle yourself in certain situations or conflicts, they should be able to too, or you should be with somebody who is on your level. And the last sign that you need to leave is if you are constantly thinking about needing to break up with them. Go ahead and just do it. Do it. There's no point in wasting any more time and energy. You're already thinking about it, and you're constantly thinking about it. Go ahead and do it. So this is the last part of the video, but I want to talk about how to leave. So I want to make sure everybody is safe, especially if you're dealing with somebody who has a very hard time dealing with conflict, because they're going to see you leaving them as a form of conflict, and they're not going to know how to handle themselves. Everybody knows how to handle themselves. They're just choosing not to. So I just want to make sure that you all are safe and doing this in the safest way as possible if you are dealing with somebody who has a hard time dealing with conflict. So yes, like I said, I want to make sure you guys are safe. So leave him in one of 3 ways if he has a hard time dealing with conflict. It's a phone call, text message, and if you have to do it in person, so help me God, do it in a public place. Don't go to his house. Oh, we need to talk. Oh, I need to pick up my stuff. No, public place. No, meet me at McDonald's where everybody's at. Yeah, downtown. Yeah. Where everybody's at so they can see. I have witnesses. Yeah. And I don't care. I don't care if you don't think he's going to do that. I don't care. So help me God, public place if it has to be in person. I wouldn't advise it, but public place if it has to be in person. I personally always break up with the guy in the same way. I always send the same text message when I'm dating a guy. If we are in a full-blown relationship, that's going to be different. But if I don't see them aligning with my values, I send them the same text. After some thought, I think you would be able to find a better connection elsewhere. Maybe I'll give them a reason, reason as to why I've come to this conclusion. 9 times out of 10, I don't. I keep it short and concise and just straight to the point. We don't need to go do all this back and forth. Just let you know you're not the type of person for me, and I'm definitely not your person. And if this is somebody that you've been in a full-blown relationship with for a long time, you want to go no contact. You want to allow yourself time to withdraw from them, because being in a relationship, breaking up from a relationship can cause withdrawal symptoms, because we formed a chemical connection, I believe. I forgot the whole science behind it, but we literally go through withdrawal when we break up with somebody, and that's why no contact is very important. So you want to never reach back out to them. You want to allow yourself time to completely withdraw. And if you feel the need to, you know, reach out to them, I literally do not believe in closure, because it's literally just reaching out to another person saying, hey, what was wrong with me? I don't get the point of closure. I mean, I get the point, but I do not partake in it. So yeah, do not reach out to them until you've completely withdrawn all of your feelings, emotions, and energy. So go no contact when you were dealing with somebody that you had deep feelings for. Okay, so that is it for the video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.